Hello again, everybody. This is Toby Brockner from V Squared Creative and the V Squared Creative podcast. I am excited to interview today. I've got Cameron Aaron, the founder of Sybil Systems, on the show today. Cameron, welcome. Thank you for being here.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
So, Cameron, give us a little background about who you are and what you do and that sort of thing.
So my background, I was brought up, I was raised in Los Angeles, California. Through my upbringing, I struggled kind of with education. I am I'm gifted, but I also have ADHD, which kind of made it hard for me, which kind of brings me to my company and why I'm doing what I'm doing. I really want to figure out ways to use technology to benefit people, not just in education, but in their daily lives.
Okay.
And through high school, I went to a school called Bridges Academy, which is what's considered a 2E school, meaning it's people who have learning challenges, but also are gifted in some area.
Okay.
In my case, I am verbally gifted. I scored high in that. But being surrounded by people who have like autism and different challenges like those, I wanted use ways, like for instance, for autistic people who have autism, a lot of times they might not be able to communicate verbally, but they'll be able to communicate via paralanguage, which is body motions and movements and things like that. And I noticed a lot of the times when maybe someone with autism needed something or extra attention in classes, they would do certain hand motions, and the teachers were trained enough to be able to interpret those motions into being able to help them out. So I wanted to create a neural network software that learns for the individual what forms of paralanguage mean what, so as to be able to help someone who's maybe less trained than the teachers that I grew up with, people maybe in like public schooling and things like that, be able to, give these bright-minded people who who just need a little bit of extra help, that the ability to help them.
Okay, so that's what you're doing with Sybil Systems, is that right?
Yeah, that's our current mission. Right now, I'm going to expand that. Right now, that's what my focus is. Right now is helping people in education. But I'd love to be able to help people in other areas, even maybe even in the dating portion of their lives, like maybe do some kind of complex algorithm, for pairing people.
Gotcha.
But right now, education's my focus.
Okay, so tell me how that works. How does the neural programming, is that what you said?
Yeah, neural networks.
Neural networks. So what kind of software are you building? How does that work? And give us a kind of a thumbnail sketch of how that would work with someone.
Absolutely. So what it would be is it would be a camera to, be able to a 3D camera to be able to track motion, and it would be, for instance, let's say a person raises their hand or whatever. Then what would happen is the computer would over time learn, okay, when this person raises their hand, they usually are trying to ask a question.
Okay.
Or things like that. And it's neural networks, it's a form of machine learning where essentially it learns very closely to that of a human. There's been many examples of that. Like the biggest user of neural networks is Google. For thinking about their voice software, uh, you know, they those things they had to learn. What phrase they had to learn phrases and things. So yeah, it's very interesting stuff. And
So let me see if I can give this back to you. See if make sure I'm understanding it correctly. It's sort of like reading. The computer would be reading sign language, but that sign language would be individual to each person. And
absolutely,
over time, it would kind of map their movements and with a high degree of accuracy be able to predict what they are trying to communicate.
absolutely, you
Okay,
understand that perfectly.
fascinating. How in the world did you come up with something like that? I mean, it blows my mind to even think that would have never even occurred to me to come up with something like
It's
that.
actually something that I came up with in the 6th grade,
Okay.
and what happened was there was a kid in my classes who was, he had like autism, and a lot of people like in my school, like my classmates who were just coming, they were like, they would always say things like, oh, he's dumb, or that kind of,
Mm.
those kind of things. But then we all took this super hard math test, and what the teacher announced like the scores, and he got the highest score on like algebra, like algebra 2 level math in the 6th grade, and we were like, wow, that's amazing. And it really occurred to me that, you know, people like that, they aren't stupid at all.
Mm-hmm.
They are incredibly intelligent. But you just you just don't necessarily see it because they're not able to necessarily communicate their intelligences. Almost sort of like Stephen Hawking with ALS. He's not able to communicate in a traditional fashion, but via a computer.
Yeah.
It's the same way with people who have autism and things. They are not able to communicate, how we traditionally would communicate, but they're able to communicate in their own individual ways.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, this really could have ramifications across various industries, even people who are traditionally you would consider to be unemployable because they don't have those communication skills. I mean, this could open up a whole new world for employers who are looking for talented, really smart employees in certain areas that just don't maybe have the communication skills. Using this sort of technology and software, they could read those body movements and understand what they're trying to say and use them effectively in a certain position. Am I too far off there?
Absolutely, no, absolutely. That's definitely true. And the thing is, everybody has something to contribute to society,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I want to use technology to really show that.
Mm-hmm. So how long have you been doing this? How long has Sybil Systems been around? Because you
It's
look
all
like you're about 15. So I
actually, I'm actually 18.
okay, you're 18,
I'm pretty young,
but you
but
started this company and you're running it and
running it right now. We're in the research phase.
okay.
I'm working with the same people I went to high school with. They have the 2E Center run by Susan Baum and some other 2E researchers. It's a very small field.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping that my contributions in Sybil System and the Sybil Initiative, will be able to really increase people's understanding that everybody is different,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot, like I was told when I was in kindergarten that they would not teach me. I could not, because I wasn't focused. And but then once people actually started taking time to teach me how I learn, I was off the charts. I scored very high on IQ tests. I was, I am I was I proved myself to be a
Mm-hmm.
smart individual. Um, but, just because of the way I was being taught, people had misconceptions.
Mm-hmm. So are you trying to raise money or anything like that, or are you just kind of doing this on your own?
Right now, I'm not really profiting off of it. I'm researching and I'm working with foundations
Okay.
to, kind of get them on board. But donations are definitely accepted.
Sure.
I'll probably make a PayPal account. People can donate if they want.
Yeah,
But
I mean, yeah, I'm thinking something like GoFundMe or a
yeah, GoFundMe.
Kickstarter. Kickstarter probably would be a great option.
Yeah, I'll make a Kickstarter later on, probably today.
Yeah, that would be a really good avenue. So, what do your parents think about all this?
My parents are fully supportive. I really appreciate, having people, around me
Hmm.
that support me and want me to be able to succeed in life.
Hmm.
And without them constantly, um, encouraging me, to kind of be not really the norm.
Hmm.
I probably would not be where I'm at now.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, because a lot of parents they want what's best for their kids, and they say, listen, go out, do something more practical, go out and find a
Absolutely.
job somewhere or whatever. And it's really great that they're encouraging you because I think this is important work that you're doing, and it's very
Absolutely.
noble. Are your parents in this field? Are they in the engineering or robotics or anything like that?
No, my mom is a nurse,
Okay.
which, kind of partially, makes me think about. She works at Children's Hospital in
Okay.
a department called CB Acute with people who have kind of cardiac issues. And a lot of times, people who have like cardiac issues also have issues like mentally.
Hmm.
A lot of times that'll come with some kind of autism or
Gotcha.
some sort of difference there. Um, so potentially that in a lot of ways that made me more intrigued about kind of the medical field.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I have very broad interests. Like at one point I wanted to be a doctor. At one
Hmm.
point I wanted to be a psychologist. And I decided I'm going to, when I go to college, I'm going to double major in neurology and computer science and minor in psychology because I feel like that's really what's going to take me in the areas I want to go with. Machine intelligence is really my passion right now.
Hmm.
And I feel like I really just want to make a mark on the world. I want to be able to, when I leave the earth, I want, to have done something with my
Yeah.
life.
Well, you sound like you're on your way. I mean, what is it going to take for you to? Do you need to work on some sort of a prototype or write some software, or what is the next step for you?
The next step is to have volunteers to be able to. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm making a lot of relationships with people in the with Autism Speaks and with right now mostly the TUI Institute, which was part of my high school,
Okay.
which was like a division of my high school. But I need volunteers to be able to test out the software. I have like kind of a prototype, but it's not trained, and I
Okay.
don't really know how accurately it works.
Okay.
It's just kind of code that I hacked up. Um, so right now I need volunteers and I need organizations that will help me to be able to test it and perfect it.
Okay. Good deal. Well, so I'm gonna if people want to get in touch with you, Cameron, what's the best way to do that? I want to drop some links to different places in the description of this video here so that people can get in touch with you. if they have interest in this? What's the best way for them to do that?
Right now, the best way for them to get in touch with me is via email. If you want, I'll Skype you my email address. It's Cameron. It's CAMERON at team4019.org.
Okay, good deal. So this is a really exciting work you're doing in this field. Like I said, it would never occurred to me, but I do know I have friends who have children who are autistic. This would be a godsend for them to be able to understand the communication and what they're really trying to get across, and eliminate a lot of headaches and frustrations. I really think you're onto something there.
Absolutely.
Good deal. Well, Cameron, I appreciate you being on the call today. This was really
great.
Good information.
I really appreciate it. I appreciate you interviewing me. Thank you.
Yeah, please stay in touch with me, and I want to keep an eye on your career and watch it grow. It's going to be exciting to see.
Absolutely. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. And thank you guys for watching. I'm Toby Brockner from V Squared Creative, the V Squared Creative podcast. I was here with Aaron of Sybil Systems. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.
Yeah.